Okay, we are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. So welcome in. This is our normal Wednesday night meetings that we do each week. Welcome to everyone that has joined. We are simultaneously, my sister right now is having her class. It should be ending soon. So we are starting a little later than normal. We just welcome all the new people that are in tonight. We do like to keep order and respect in here. We do not allow people to badmouth or talk bad about others in our group. We keep it extremely professional, so we don't allow that here. We asked everybody to stay muted, but we do have a time for Q&A, and I may even stop. It's usually at the end, but I may even stop if I feel it might be an appropriate time for questions, and have a time pause for questions. During the teaching. Now, tonight, what I'm going to do is kind of emphasize on some things that I do see some questions come through, or I may post something on social media. And of course, everybody gets this. I'm not the only one. The world gets this. You could be talking about cinnamon buns and get somebody angry at you for it. I mean, it's the way things are today. Somebody could just despise cinnamon buns. You could want to give them cinnamon buns for free. You could want to give them a life supply of cinnamon buns, and you're going to get somebody angry about that. That's just the way it is today. There's just always going to be somebody complaining even about something good, right? Or I guess my sister might say cinnamon buns aren't good, but you see what I'm saying? There's always going to be an opposite. But what I find appalling and kind of crazy, unless you're talking about child, pedo, what we talk about, to get angry and to get crazy and to curse people out over an opinion is sad. And that's what we, kind of like are shocked about sometimes when doing whatever it is we're doing, right? So I do see that, like I posted a couple of days ago, specific statistics to Kentucky, which I'm going to go over tonight. It was the spearheaded state that was enforcing a bill for 50-50 shared custody. And when I posted it, most people were thrilled with the fact that I did some research, some actual research. Okay, some actual research, not what people tell you, not what people share, not that, but I did actual research on and how to find out, well, what's happened since they passed the Kentucky shared parenting bill. What's happened since then, right? And I think it's important that we should know um, what the problem is and what has occurred. And so since that, and I had most people really thrilled that I posted this, and then I had people angry, okay, that I posted facts, actual statistical facts and statistics that are not fake, which I'm going to break down for you guys tonight. There's fake statistics out there, and then there's legitimate ones. What makes this legitimate is that you cannot, when you have children who are no longer with us on this earth, and it's been, there's a death certificate, and it's now labeled and it's now recorded, you cannot say that that's a fake statistic. It is what it is, right? Or children that have been, there's been reports of actual findings of abuse. And when I say findings of abuse, I'm talking about actual criminal guilt found, which, as we know, in the family court, there are fake allegations that run the family court system. And real allegation gets treated as if you're the criminal. And so this is something that I'm going to springboard off of and emphasize tonight. And the importance of why what you think you know and what you should know is extremely important when you're in this work of trying to save the lives of your children and your neighbor's children. Okay? So Kentucky now has the highest child abuse rates in the country. Okay? Let that sink in. So since the presumption of 50-50 custody has been enforced in Kentucky, okay, the child abuse rate has skyrocketed. It is now the highest, most dangerous. Actual statistics showing that the abuse of children has increased. Okay. Now, this is really important to understand. Well, geez, all parents should be equal. Well, you're already equal. You're already equal. Okay. You're already equal. Whether you're a male or a female, you're already presumed equal. Okay. Now, this is something that's going to offend some people. And I'm sorry, but that's what I like to do sometimes, because offense can actually take you to the truth, and then the truth can make you free. And I rather see you free than offended. So it's important that sometimes the doorway to get there, sometimes you may feel a little offended. Okay. I don't know. Let's give an example of how you might feel offended. You do not hear, because you've got earplugs in, a Mack truck is coming at you at 100 miles an hour, and a stranger is standing next to you, and they push you as hard as they can, or they yank you as hard as they can out of the way of the Mack truck that you don't hear coming because you're blasting Motley Crue in your ear, right? And maybe I just dated myself, but anyway. And so you at that moment might feel really offended. You might want to haul off and punch the person that just saved your life. But now you're free and you're alive. So when I'm going to say may be offensive, but I promise you it's not meant to be. It's meant to save your life and the life of your children. I hear this a lot, and I know you hear this a lot. And before I even state this, I'm going to preface it by saying this. We have really great fathers, husbands, and fathers in our teams, okay? These men fought with blood, sweat, tears, literally, for the women in their lives, the mothers of their children. They didn't want to take their children from the mothers. They wanted the mothers either to get help or to protect the children for genuine reasons. Okay? These are not guys that we deal with every single day in family court at high numbers. And I'm talking, remember, I've been doing this work for 18 and a half plus years. I've been doing this work nationwide. I see courts and judges and attorneys and families and litigants all over the country in every single county and state. So when I say things, I'm not saying them because I feel like sitting here spending hours hearing myself talk, okay? Or doing free meetings every single Wednesday night because I've got nothing better to do with my time, okay? And spend hours on Wednesday night meetings answering questions and trying to help protect children and families. And I'm just making stuff up because I've got nothing else to do. Obviously, I'm here because I genuinely care. And I genuinely spend my own finances that I don't have to go back and forth to DC 3 to 4 times a month. Okay. Without a money tree growing in my yard. Boy, do I wish I had one. Boy, do I wish I had one. So, with saying that, you hear fathers go, women got custody. Women got custody. And I know so many guys in my family alone, men. I have more male cousins than I do female. Okay. And great husband figures. Oh my God. Some of my cousins are absolutely, if you see them, they're on social media. A lot of them do YouTube and things like that. And they're very comedic with their families. And it's just a really nice thing to see. Very positive to see their happy married families, stable, happy, normal, very normal, candid, crazy at times and, silly and all that. But it's so nice to see the love and the family, the unity and the children and so on and so forth. Never, and when I talk to them, this is a foreign language as it is a foreign language to me, to hear fathers even say, all the women get children. It doesn't even, it's not a thought. And I want you to hear this because I think that this is what is part of America's problem. And it is a sin issue. Above anything, it is a sin issue. It's an out of order sin issue. Okay. Broken families obviously is part of that out of order. And I'm not putting anybody down if you're in a broken family. I am too. Okay. It is a grievous thing to be in. They say it's actually divorce is sadder and harder and more grievous than death. This has been proven. Mourning the death sometimes is even less painful than the mourning, the ripping apart of a husband and wife because you're one flesh. So you can imagine being ripped apart. I seen a pastor years ago literally take 2 baked potatoes and beat them to a pulp and mash them together and say, this is how, now try to take that apart. Okay, that's what God calls covenant, male and female, first time, two first time potatoes. One's a male, one's a female, smash it together. That's what God calls a covenant. Adultery, if one of those potatoes cheated with another potato, that doesn't stop the covenant. You might get a divorce paper, a government divorce paper, but that doesn't end that covenant. You're still mashed together. So the pain involved in that is very serious, and I don't take that lightly. And other horrible sin that you would do to the other party in that covenant doesn't end the covenant. Okay, it harms the vows, and it can cause a divorce, but it doesn't end the covenant. The Bible says the only thing that ends that covenant is death. And I know that people are going to argue. I've got multiple teachings on this, multiple, that churches are falsely teaching. And I firmly believe, after all the years that I've been doing this work, I firmly believe that the only reason why the devil has a legal door in the government, family court, nonsensical, demonic system, and the government has a legal demonic door in CPS and all of this horrible stuff, foster care, okay, child protective services. These are words, again, word salad. We're going to talk a lot about word salad tonight. Things that seem good, but are wicked to the core. Okay, child protective services is not protective, it's predatory, right? I call it child predatory services or child pedophilia services, right? Foster care, come on now. I know lots and lots of kids coming out of foster care and they're not protected, they're not safe, they're endangered, they're horribly ripped apart from their biological families. And even if they come out of a harmful home, it is 80 times worse when they enter into foster care. Okay, but we use words every day and people believe words and words matter. God created the world, the earth, with his words. He tells us to use our words wisely. He says to speak life and not death. He tells us what to do with our words and the importance of our words. Okay, so here's what I'm doing tonight is emphasizing the specifics on parental alienation syndrome, words, 50-50 shared custody, and why it's dangerous. Words, okay? And we're going to talk about gender tonight too. So whenever my cousins or any men I've known in my lifetime talk about that when men go around going, oh, women have custody, as if that's a bad thing. That's it. That you should that sets off so many red flags in me, and it should you too, as a man or a woman. When a person says, women have custody, mothers have custody, okay, you have never, and I don't care what they do in today's society, carried a child inside your womb and your own physical body. And you cannot do that unless they do some kind of twisted, and I know they are mad science. It's still not natural. It's not proper. And so you have no idea the sanctity of that relationship. Okay, now there's moms out there killing their own babies within their womb, and that's horrifying to me as well. So I'm not defending either gender in this, in saying anything of that nature. I'm trying to, again, give you some truth bombs so that hopefully we can get past this as a society and repent before the living God so we don't continue to go down this cycle. Because I truly believe that God is opening up the most amazing doors I've ever seen in my life, and you guys can't miss that. Okay, obviously, it's clear because of the fact that it's not just a matter of adding credentials and services and the work that we're doing, and that's all important because action goes with our words and what we do. Jesus died on a cross; he took an action. He didn't just say he was going to do something. So I believe action is important. However, I need whoever to be muted, please. But however, with saying that, I want to say that that. It's repentance that has taken us to a certain place. And I don't mean everybody repented of their sin. I mean a certain people, like a remnant of a few, a chosen group, began to pray in repentance for the breaking of families, the breaking of allowing the devil in, the breaking of certain things that people did, the twisting. And I said this a long time ago. This has nothing to do with heterosexual or homosexual in a sense of like pointing at a certain person, because God sees sin, whether you're heterosexual or homosexual. Matter of fact, he talks more about it in the heterosexual world in the Bible than he does of homosexual. Okay, so that's not where I'm going with this. I'm not going with that at all. What I'm saying is that the churches are going to point at certain people, quote unquote, sin, but they're not looking at their own. Okay, and that's very concerning to me in these churches today. Okay. And you may not, people that are here, many of you may be professing Christians and many of you may not be. I don't know. I don't know you personally. However, I'm talking to basically Christians, because the Bible says first the church, then the world. First the church must repent, and then the world, and everything else will fall into place. Okay, and in what is it? Chronicles, he talks about if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways, then he says, then I'll hear from heaven and I'll heal their land. And that's part of what we're doing here. We are turning from our wicked ways, acknowledging what we did that God says is wrong. But we can't just say it. Lip service is never going to get you where we need to be. You have to take that action and actually live by it, right? And once you take that action, it may not be easy. Walking away from sin is not always easy. Okay, an addict will tell you, I can't stop drinking, but I want to. Okay, and so I'm not saying that it's easy, but God looks at your heart posture and if you're aiming in the right direction, and he will guide you and lead you through that door to freedom. Okay. So let's go to talk about Kentucky right now. So it is the highest, most vulnerable situation, is one of the leading states in 2018 when it passed the shared parenting bill in 2018. And since then has continued to report child deaths from abuse and neglect every single year. It has skyrocketed. Okay. There's actually been 100% increase from 2018 to 2019. And up until 2026, it just continues to get worse and worse and worse. Kentucky shared parenting. Okay. I put up a poster with the four states, the four different states. Let's see, it was Kentucky, Florida, and Missouri. Missouri's was in 2023. One of the main ones that got national news was 7-year-old Maddox Bentley. He was killed by his father in a murder-suicide. And the experts kept warning that this law gives abusers easier access to children. In Florida, which we have a major problem in Florida, Florida state is literally sinking from the amount of children that are being abused in that state. The governor is not doing anything about it. Actually, the crime rate has actually gone up in Florida. And also 5-year-old, the main one that actually stood out and went on the main media was 5-year-old Phoebe Jean Chuck. She was thrown to her death from a bridge by her father during a custody dispute. The child was thrown from a bridge, thrown by her father, okay, to her death. She was plunged to her death. A child safety crisis. This was said by the advocates that it was a child safety crisis. Okay. And then Kentucky, a couple of them. There's tons of them. There's tons. I'm just reading of the most prominently known. 6-year-old Jason Osborne killed by his father in murder-suicide 2023. 4-year-old Willow Reed and her brother were killed by their father during visitation. Mothers are killing their children too. I just was able to get the top ones off of these particular states that push the shared parenting. Okay, now let me emphasize this for a second. When I say shared parenting, do you think for a minute that me, that believes in the covenant of marriage and husbands and wives, thinks that parents shouldn't be sharing their children? If you think that, you're completely lost your mind. Okay, that's not what I'm saying, nor would I ever. And that's why I think I'm a good speaker on this topic, because I don't think anybody out there believes more in marriage than I do, honestly. Okay, I'm not a man hater nor a woman hater. I believe in marriage very strongly, to the point where I believe that you should stand for your covenant, even if you can't live under the same roof with that person because they're abusive. Okay, so that's where I stand. Now, with saying that, with what I've seen over my 18 and a half years of court watching judges and cases and knowing them intricately and detailed, what I'm seeing is that the over, and I say this lightly, well over 80%, it's really over 90% of the family court cases that I witness. So I'm not making it up. I'm not just saying, oh, whatever. What I witness is that there's always one abuser. And Vicky can attest to this, social science research has repeatedly and emphatically proven that even if a father or mother doesn't beat the child, okay, because there's certain, I believe in discipline as well, but beat the child, they are still by proxy in danger in that situation. Addicts, when they're under the influence, do not know what they do when they're under the influence. They could be the greatest guy on earth normally, but when they're under the influence, they say things that are crazy. They punch holes through walls. They terrify you. They get in your face. They scare you. They threaten you. They might knock your house apart. They might knock you apart. And by morning, when they're sober, they're going to work and they act like the most perfect human being that would never hurt a fly. And they may even defend a woman who's being harmed by another man in their presence and come across like the most perfect human being on the planet. And unless you videotape them and show them what they did last night, they may never know that they are that person. And because most judges are addicts themselves, they are not in a proper position to judge anybody else because they cannot discern right from wrong because they're living a life of addiction that they don't think is wrong themselves. So that makes a lot of sense as to why these judges are making horrible decisions. Now, in some of the cases that I just read you, the fathers not only killed the children in these particular cases, mothers do it too. It's called filicide. Many times, what we're seeing, and this is statistically proven, is when mothers kill children, it's not because they have years of abuse behind their belt. Meaning they themselves being the abuser. And I'm not saying that there's not women abusers, okay? As you can see, I've kicked some out of our group. So there are, and I agree that there are. I'm giving balance here. Women that are victims of abuse and their children are given over to the abuser. And no matter what they do, okay, they can't get their child away from the abuser. And the abuser is, they see the child regressing. They see the child clearly having sexual abuse done to them. And the courts are doing nothing because of what's called parental alienation syndrome, which we're going to get into detail about. So because of this, they commit what's called filicide. Filicide, okay? What is filicide? Filicide is when you kill your children and then you kill yourself because they saw no way out. They were never an abuser before. They were never a murderer before. They just didn't see a way out to stop their children from being abused because year after year, day after day, week after week, month after month, the court continued to let the child suffer or children suffer with their abuser and let him have complete control to the point where, because coercive control is huge in family court, abuse is huge in family court, using the court system to abuse the mother, to continue to abuse her is huge in family court. Huge. Okay? And I'm going to touch on both topics, both men and women here. Okay? But it's huge. And the abusers love to use the family court. And sadly, in today's sinful society, okay, and I've seen this grow expeditiously, logarithmically. I have seen this get worse. I don't know what the heck is going on, but I've seen more fathers and mothers sexually abusing their own biological children. Now, that may be sick to you and me, but unfortunately, it's not sick to our government, and it's not sick to a lot of these governors, and it's not sick to a lot of these sick people. It has become normal. They want to normalize this. This is a problem. Okay? So, family court, what does it do? It embraces that. So, when I see these advocacy groups out there that are pushing 50-50 shared parenting, I cringe and I bring it to your attention because I want to wake you up of the dangers and how it is completely and absolutely and utterly nothing short of dangerous. Okay? Nothing short of dangerous. And I can't emphasize it enough. I can't emphasize how dangerous it is enough. Okay. Um, so let me go and kind of go over some of my notes because this is very important. The Family Justice and Accountability Act, if you will, which is a model, which is an omnibus bill, which does not it does not bring in new laws. It just emphasizes and enforces the ones we already have. We are already actively enforcing. We are already actively doing this. We do it through the Family Justice Accountability Act court compliance team that we have that literally lines courtrooms virtually. They're trained to do so, and then we submit non-compliance reports in which I added very very thorough forensic report, and they add what they've basically witnessed. Okay, this is we are going through every door, every window, every chimney, every you name it, every mouse hole, whatever it takes. We are educating every single Congress member, every single attack, every single lie. You'll hear them say, "Oh, well, this is a state issue." This is all nonsense. I educate and I bridge the gap and I show where Congress has a duty to enforce the Constitution. It has a duty to comply with everything that we're doing. Okay, we are huge. There's tons of us out there, and we want to bring in more and more. And that's why I do free meetings every Wednesday night because there's nothing more important in this life than what we're doing. There's nothing more important for your children and your children's children and their children, what we are doing right now. Okay. So I am the author of the Family Justice Act, as you guys know. It's a comprehensive federal legislative proposal. It's focused on accountability, constitutional protections, disability rights, enforcement, child safety, most importantly, judicial transparency, and family court just a complete it basically it does actually abolish family court largely, but it keeps it open. But once everything falls into place, the court would run the way it should run all along, but not without accountability and not without remedy, relief, and recompense to the families, and they being held accountable for the damages that they caused. So it doesn't mean that it's just going to continue to just run and that we're going to keep those same corrupt judges in those seats. No, they're going to be held accountable for what they did. And that is the reason why we need the power behind us of the people. And I do free Wednesday night meetings to get you guys encouraged, to get you motivated, to get you on fire, to get you to get your neighbors on fire, to get you to be educated, to understand and comprehend, to get you guys to stop building the algorithms for these crazy 50-50 shared custody groups. You have no idea. I don't think you guys realize just how bad they are. And that's what I'm here for, to be the voice, to make sure that you guys understand just how dangerous it is. It's dangerous for fathers, it's dangerous for mothers, and it's dangerous for children. They are holding hands with the devil. They are holding hands with the court system. That is the reason why they're taking you around the same mountain for 40, 60 years, doing the same thing over and over again with no results but danger. They're never going to help you. It's never going to happen. Okay? They're the ones that are saying they don't understand why women have children. That doesn't make any sense to me. I can't comprehend it or wrap my head around it. Why women have custody. Okay? I cannot and I will not understand that. Okay, any of the fathers I know personally, I have friends even locally. I have one specific testimony, I give it a lot. His wife was in jail, his wife was on drugs. They are the most beautiful, loving, amazing family you've ever seen. What a testimony to God's goodness. He stood by her, he cried. He did not want his children without her. He fought for her. She got clean. She's amazing today. I won't say her name. Okay. She just had a bad stint in life for a while. Okay. And she was not safe to the children. So he safeguarded them from her. And I'm all for it. I supported that. And now they are the most wonderfully amazing family. Okay. That doesn't always happen. They don't all have a good, happy ending. And if he ended up with the children and she stayed the same way, I would fully support that and understand that. But never would he say, I don't understand why all women get children. Never in a million, no normal man would say that. I'm sorry. Whether you like it or not, no normal man would say that. And this is a dangerous talk that comes from the father's rights movement. It is abnormal. It is foreign. It is a square shoving it into a circle. Because
Can you repeat that?
God created fathers to be what part? All of it? From which part?
Where you said what father would say that? You broke up.
Oh yeah, what no normal decent father that's a protector and a provider would say that. And so
Would say
obviously,
what? That's where you broke up. But wouldn't say what?
would say why are women getting children? Why are more women
Gotcha.
getting children than men? Okay, so and it started out when we were still normal as a country and we believed in order. Okay, that's where that came from. Now, does that mean we don't want fathers to have children? Of course not. Of course not. That's not what we're saying. I don't want to see the home broken in the first place. I don't want to see the home broken in the first place. But a broken system isn't going to help a broken family. That's what church was supposed to be for. And they're failing hugely with their divorce support groups and their find your new husband in the next room support groups. Just replace them with another husband support group, those support groups. That's not what church, never did God say we were supposed to be happy and not holy. Never. Anywhere in scripture did God say, well, you got to be happy. It's more important that you're happy. That's not what God said. And so that's why we're in a mess. And that's why the devil has a legal open door. Okay. So with saying that, I'm going to keep trying to go here. With the family justice accountability model, we have Kids for Congress and Make America's Children Safe Again. By the way, this is being recorded on YouTube, so you can go back if you missed the beginning. And I highly encourage you to listen to it through and through and through. This is created because of millions of families across America. Wes, if you can mute everybody, that are entering these systems that were supposedly, we always believe that they were intended to protect children and vulnerable individuals. I do not believe that is true. I believe that the system was built to harm you because it makes a lot of money. And it's not just a financial thing. It is a child, I don't know how much I can say because we're on YouTube, but it's child pedo system. It is where they're getting the kids. So let me talk a little bit about Melania Trump and Donald Trump. And now I have to explain and emphatically make you understand. We are working with the highest ranking officials in the country. You're going to see more and more and more coming out on social media. You're going to see more, okay? Many of these people are gung-ho to work with us, but it's still a fight like I've never fought in my life. They could literally lift me up in a room and say I'm the best thing that ever happened and I will do everything I can to help you, and I still have to fight like hell to get them to keep their word. Okay? Because there's a lot of red tape behind this. There's a lot of evil behind this. There's a lot of, even good people are mixed in Congress and bad people are mixed in Congress and all over the whole system without me getting too deep on that. And it's still a fight, my friends. It is still a fight. I can't tell you guys enough how much we need each other to support each other, but to support in the right ways and to continue to build what we're doing with the doors that we have, because they see the numbers we have and they can't mistake in that. They see the movement we have. So when you see like Moms for America with Trump in the White House, that's going to be us very soon. We're about to have a door slam open for us. It's going to be better than winning the lottery come June. Okay, big people, huge. I got big things going June 29th. Okay, and then the 30th and 31st, I'm invited to a soiree roundtable with Trump and JD Vance. Okay, but okay, um, with saying that, uh, I don't want to lose my train of thought here. So, with saying that, with regards to uh, Melania Trump, I am not in agreement. And so I'm working the people that I'm working with, okay, to get them to comprehend and understand. And this is why all the things that we're doing matter, because we're undoing a lot of years of damage. We're unteaching a lot of bullcrap that's been taught, like pushing 50-50 custody, like pushing this parental alienation nonsense. You have no idea how dangerous it is. Yeah. Are you without your children? Okay. Do you feel alienated? Yes. No one's disputing that. But when you use that terminology, you're enforcing it through the system that's endangering you and your kids. They have diagnosed you with something called parental alienation syndrome. Whether they used a doctor or not, because no normal doctor would ever diagnose you with that. It is not even, it's junk science. Okay, and I'll get into the details of that. I have multiple videos on that. I have multiple videos that explain it explicitly, and people get so mad. I had this one girl crying and mad and angry, but my dad kept me from my mother. She was going insane. Okay, and so why did they do that? Because my mother alienated me from him. You're not making any sense, honey. Your father alienated your mother from you and you from your mother. And your punishment, your mom's punishment was to take you away. It's a conundrum. It makes no sense. This makes no sense. You hear what you're saying? And she's like, I was alienated from my mom. No, your mother was diagnosed with parental alienation syndrome because she reported your abusive father, who you admittedly admitted that your father was abusive, and he got full custody. And this was going back 20 years ago. And it still exists today. And some fathers have dealt with this too. Okay. But this was a mother only. I'm not doing this. I'm not Dr. Richard Gardner. He, in his publications, put in publication that it was normal for men to do you know what with their own children. And that if a mother reported it, she had parental alienation syndrome. He never said if a father reported it. He targeted women. He targeted mothers. Okay? He targeted mothers. I didn't target mothers. He targeted mothers. I'm just exposing it. And in the court system today, it is built on the foundation of you're equal, which we are. All men are created equal. Okay? And that you have parental alienation syndrome whether you see it or not, whether they get a therapist or a psychologist or you get a mental health exam or you don't get one, they're never going to say it. They're not going to say you have parental alienation syndrome. They're not that stupid, although some might. Okay. But that's the underlying problem. And if you keep beating the dead horse, you're going to keep ending up with the same results. What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and getting the same results. Where does that make any sense? Make it make sense. So that's why we don't do that. That's why we emphasize the truth and we aim for the solutions. Now, with the family justice accountability model, if you falsely accuse somebody, I don't care who you are, you could be the father, you could be the mother, you could be the aunt, you could be the uncle, you could be the caseworker, the CASA worker, the judge, the attorney, it doesn't matter who you are, you falsely accuse another human being and you hurt their life, you can go to jail and you can be fined or both. Okay. And specific things go to criminal court because it is a crime. You have just taken a very serious fundamental liberty interest, child, life, livelihood from another person through a false allegation. So no longer does it matter what gender you are, male, female, doesn't matter. No longer will a false allegation not protect you. Okay. So this is why works so well. So you have nothing to worry about if you're an honest person. If you're a criminal, if you're an abuser, then you should be worried. And what the court should be doing is rehabilitating people by force. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that they throw around anger management like it's going out of style. Well, okay, so they went to anger management, and 2 trips later to anger management, they have now full custody of kids. Make that make sense. Are they better? No. Is there fruit? Is there evidence of them being better? No, but they have equal. But parents are equal. Parents are equal. I don't care what state you're in. Parents are equal. I hear it all the time. They put you on the same playing field. You got one that's protective, that's loving, that's honest, that's articulate, that's smart, that's professional, that's safe, and you've got one that's drunk and high and stoned and whatever else, constantly and beating, punching walls, and they're equal according to family court. Okay, what a slap in the face to the one that's protective and loving and articulate and professional and really loves the kids. Okay. And one of the things I love to emphasize is that God created you fathers, men. Your wives are mirror reflections of you. Okay. And that's why it says that he hates his own body. Bible says he hates his own body about his own wife. I can see many men who are cheating on their wives. They can't even look at that wife. They look at her with disdain. You want to know why? Because they're looking at themselves. The guilt is so heavy that I've seen it. I can tell you, I've seen that over and over again throughout my life. They look at her, and it goes both ways, with disdain. She didn't do anything wrong. You're the cheat, but you're looking at her with disdain because you see your mirror reflection in her. And sometimes you don't wake up from that slumber, either your whole life till your deathbed or years later, and then regret hits you because you know what you did was wrong. But instead of acknowledging it, repenting, and doing the right thing in your marriage, you continue to go down a dirty, dark road, and you repeatedly cheated or whatever you did to try to find it somewhere else, which you always had all along under your own roof. You're looking for it somewhere else, and you always had it all along. Okay, and if that seems shocking to you, it seems shocking to me too. But this goes on all over our country. I mean, we have OnlyFans now. We have young girls doing things that are absolutely despicable and disgusting. I can't even get over what the teenagers are doing. The entire teenage population is high on weed pens and nicotine. Okay, the addiction rate has skyrocketed through the roof. And I believe a lot of it has to go back to point A, family court, rearranging your families, playing mad science with your families. And why is it a sin issue? And why is it a spiritual issue? Why we must acknowledge and why we must repent? Because with living the way we're all living, this is not getting us anywhere. You can continue to, like I said, to keep joining these advocacy groups that push the beating of a dead horse, the 40 years around the same mountain nonsense, or you can get on the winning team, the team that God said this is the way to go in it, and let's do this together, and let's build and build and build and continue to get this done, because we are up against a wicked, wicked system. And the only way you're going to beat it is with clean hands and a pure heart, period. Okay, so with saying that, um, so they tried to tell you that the family justice or the family court system was to protect children, vulnerable individuals, but that's not the case at all. It was built to do exactly what it's doing. It was built this way. I've taught on this at length. When we had the government shutdown, I went all the way back to 1962 with the Family Court Act that started in New York, worked its way through the country, and preceding that, it was the orphan trains. All of this is logarithmic. All of this goes together. This is the history of what actually happened here. So there was the orphan trains. These were mostly white children. They weren't even children of color. Okay, and they were just basically stealing them from full families and calling them orphans. Okay, this is just incredibly crazy. The roots that the history behind all of this. And so instead of what happens is the court systems, there's just devastating outcomes. Children are placed with documented abusers. Protective parents are punished. Now, nobody can argue with me, not the Father's Rights Movement, not the Women's Coalition. Nobody can argue with me when I say these words: report abuse, lose your children. Everybody agrees with that. So how in the world, and this is something that troubles me to no end, these fathers' rights groups that push 50-50 custody, and I post this all the time. Do you see that when they push 50-50 custody, they also push arrest the person, quote unquote, alienating the children? If parental alienation syndrome was a real thing, if it was something that you want to protect, why would you want to, especially when they have this agenda, this simultaneous agenda? Now, why, if you want to arrest the other parent because they alienated you, then you sure as hell don't believe in 50-50 custody, because you're lying when you say children need both parents. And the wise person can see right through that lie. A deceived person is going to go, yes, 50-50, yeah, arrest the other parent. Uh, excuse me? Can someone make some sense of that? 50-50 custody because children need both parents. but arrest the other parent. They're full of it. They're full of it. And I'm against 4D funding, but I'm not against fathers supporting financially their children. Okay? I don't like the government system forcing you to. As a mother, I never did that. That's my stand. Okay? I never did that. However, is if you don't want to support your own children, you let God deal with you. It's inherently in you. You should want to automatically. I am a female and I want to financially support my children. And I do. If I have to take from my own mouth to give to them, that is what normal mothering is, and that's what normal fathering is. Your kids come first, above you, okay? And you should be teaching them by action, not by mouth lip service. If you want them to live a certain way, you should be living that way too, okay? You should be living that way too. So if you don't want them to sleep around, you shouldn't be sleeping around. Pretty simple, common sense. You want to train up a child in the way they should go by your actions, because your words will mean nothing to them when they see the way you live, but you're telling them to live a different way. All you're doing is giving your children confusion. So we've seen nothing but devastating outcomes. Children placed with documented abusers, protective parents are punished, disability accommodations are completely ignored. I fought like hell for this. That's why I don't like people going in pretending that they're ADA advocates when they don't know the first thing. Okay, when they're not ADA advocates, they are an ADA accommodation. There's a big, huge difference. I teach this. Um, Constitutional rights are completely violated in the so-called family court system. Domestic violence is completely minimized and it's weaponized inside litigation. So, what does the FJAA address for those of you that are new here? Judicial accountability, ADA enforcement under Titles 1, 2, and 3. Even though courts are Title 2, I have to jump back to 1 and 3. There's reasons because you may be affiliated and involved in other issues like employment or school or whatever. Oversight of family courts, that's where we come in. That's where my people are being trained and we're getting them ready. Okay. And we're looking at we're looking at their character. We're looking at what they're actually doing, not just what they're learning. Okay. Their passion. Because when you start out as an advocate, it comes with a lot of loss. It comes with a lot of financial loss, physical loss, all kinds of loss. And then it works its way into better. Okay. So it has to, you're kind of paying your dues in a sense. Child safety protections are one of the number one things in it. Constitutional due process protections, federal transparency standards. Okay, we expose and we stop all parental alienation syndrome tactics and nonsense. Federal oversight regarding financial incentives within custody systems. So we are talking about the 4D system, of course. We definitely go after that as well because of the whole propaganda behind it and everything that's involved with that, and also these other groups out there that have been pretending that they're searching for the ghost children, like the Family First and these phonies that are out there. Okay, phony fakes, and I will call them out every day of my life. I will continue to spotlight them and call them out for who they are because they're part of the problem while your children are not with you, while children are dying in the system, while children in our country are suffering because of Family First and that type of bills, those types of affiliate bills that Congress members, within a blink of an eye, you can present it to them and they will put a number on it because it brings in the child trafficking industry and it also brings in the trillions of finances. Okay, that's why they'll do it. And then, but if you and I go there, they'll say, "Oh, we got nothing to do with family court is a state issue." Okay, but look how quick they put a Congress number on a bill that has to do with fostering kids. Okay, that's what I was talking about Melania before. So she wants to bring, and she means well. Trust me, she means well. She means well, where she doesn't like to see how the children are outcome around the time they hit 18, because they came in with a black bag full of their clothes, if they were lucky, and they leave with a black bag full of their clothes at 18, thrown into the streets basically. So what she wants to do is make sure that they have what they need to get a head start on life. But then what she wanted to do during the fostering of these kids in between or on the way to that age is build more homes for them. I disagree with that. I disagree with aiding and assisting and abetting with child trafficking and churches that are very much steeped and tied to it because their congregants want to foster and adopt kids. Don't think that every person sitting in a pew doesn't stink, okay, and isn't a child trafficker themselves. Just because they're sitting in a church doesn't make them godly. No different than if you sat in a garage, you're going to be a car. No different. Okay. So I disagree with bringing more families to steal other people's children. I completely disagree with that. Okay. So this is something that I have to fight now as we do this fight, as we do this. Okay. Right now, I'm in the middle of getting a hopefully 2-hour briefing with RFK Jr. Policy briefing, working on that. Okay. Um, okay. Let's see. Oversight regarding financial incentives. I said that. Trauma informed protocols and protection for disabled litigants and children because they're causing disabilities in family court. One of the most important things that we do is train advocates and survivors nationwide. So that's what Wednesday night is for, free of charge. This is free of charge. I've never charged for this. I pay for the Zoom meeting. I've never charged for this. I've never asked for a donation for it. This is what we do. This is the sacrifices that we make. Okay. On how to professionally engage with your legislators, your Congress members, your US senators, media outlets, public officials. We're teaching you how to do that. That's what we're doing. We're teaching you how to do that here. Okay. We're not always completely like step by step organized. We kind of go off on little topics and things like that. Sometimes on Wednesdays, it just depends. Okay. Sometimes we're more organized. And that doesn't mean we're disorganized. It just means that sometimes the format is not very rigid, and sometimes it's a little more looser. Other times it's just a little bit more like tonight is a little bit more organized in that sense, because I want to drive it home because I'm still seeing people fighting for things that are killing them. You're literally taking a gun and shooting your own foot, saying, "I'm trying to save my foot," and you're shooting it and shooting it. But I'm trying to save my foot, and you're shooting it again. Okay, you're helping build algorithms where you shouldn't be. That's why on the Family Justice and Accountability Act state pages, especially team leads, you're supposed to be building the FJAA there, not other organizations that are trying to put their information up there. And do I agree with a lot of different advocates? Yes, and they're usually with us. We're already working together. Okay? I already know about them. I know they're safe for my people, they're safe for my clients. Okay? So they're already with us. But if they're not with me and I don't have a problem calling them out, there's darn good reason. Because why wouldn't I want other advocacy groups to join us and build us up even more? Okay. But I don't. I'm not going to join hands with Satan and the court system to fight them. That doesn't make sense to me. So it's not going to always be an easy run. Okay. Um, okay. Let's see. Yes. We teach you how to present evidence professionally, because sometimes you only get 30 minutes in these meetings. It just depends. How to communicate respectfully and effectively. Okay, how to get your story out, your testimony, how to understand federal codifications, which is basically what I do with the ADA. Okay, document ADA violations is something that I personally take care of for my clients. Explain the constitutional concerns, advocate without emotional escalation, because I always tell people it's okay if you cry in a meeting. We have that happen a lot, touching their heart. That's okay. But you don't want to be overly emotional and kind of rob from that limited time you get. So we prepare you for all of that. Okay. And bringing the solutions instead of only complaints, because we have the answers. We are the solutions based advocacy group. Okay. FJAA is all solutions. It is the answer. It is we're not changing laws. We're not making a new law. We're not naming a new law. We're enforcing the laws we already have. And this is what's been the problem all along. We are cutting out all that middle crap, all that what I call pig pen. You know, pig pen and Charlie Brown, it's all that dust and stuff. That's all these advocacy groups are doing. They're just kicking up dust. Okay, we're clearing all that away and we're getting right to the facts and right to the why the courts are dangerous to families. Okay, so it's literally one thread behind actual abolishment of the court system. It's not a reform system. It is literally holding them accountable. Jury trials, you name it, we've got it. It's all in. It's all in there. Okay, false immunity. We talk about that because you got to remember, it's been years that they've been telling you one thing. It's been years they've been telling you something when it's actually been something else. So people believe it. Lawyers believe what they're being told. Lawyers are being told lies. Okay? These are all lies that are being taught to you guys. And lawyers will tell you, you can't do this and you can't do that. Don't do that. Don't talk about your ADA rights. You'll lose your kids. That's not true. I don't lose my kids. Okay? Don't do this and don't do that because, this will happen or that'll happen. Hold on one second, buddy. Sorry for my dogs. Hold on. Sorry for my dogs, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so lawyers will tell you lies. They'll tell you your own lawyers that you've retained will tell you lies. They will not fight for you the way you should be fought for. They will keep evidence out of court that would make you win your case because they don't work for you. They work for the court. It's already in the Bar Association handbook. It's already there. Everything I'm telling you, you can look up. It's already there. So all of this is, part of the problem. So Congress members and a large percentage of I think 40% of our Congress members are attorneys. So they're going to be completely wrong in what they tell you, and they believe it. They actually believe it. And they're not all just like totally 100% evil and they're just trying to snow you. They believe what they're telling you. And you believe what, as I've gone with people that say, well, the Congress member said such and such, so they must be right and you're wrong. Okay, then let's stick our head in the sand and just pretend that we didn't go. That's not the answer. No, why don't we find out what the truth is? And the truth is that they are wrong, okay? And congressional inquiries are their duty, or they are wrong. It is not a state issue. The Constitution is not a state issue. The Constitution is everybody's issue, and it should be in family court. It's pretty simple, and we shouldn't have to fight for it. It's pretty simple. It should already be, right? Okay, so we believe that ordinary people of America, we the people, should understand how government works and should never feel intimidated speaking to your elected officials. We believe that they are your employees, you are their employers, and one of our mottos is putting the power back into the hands of you. You. And how important are you? And so we sit here and we encourage you and we build you up. Okay. We also strongly encourage young people. So bring your kids. So thank you, Maureen, for bringing your son tonight to peacefully and respectfully engage with their Congress members. Let them know what they've been through. They have a voice. Use it. Teach them young. Teach them young. Children and young adults are directly impacted by family court fake policies, CPS policies, mental health policies, education systems, domestic violence laws, civic engagement matters, young voices matter. So a lot of these are policies which do not trump federal protective rights and laws, but courts run by policy, right? And that is not what we're doing. We are saying, no, this is no longer going to continue. Okay, so when I bring in my FJAA court compliance team to courts, they know and they're so respectful and they're so good at what they do. And more people are growing and more people are joining us every day because they're trained well and they know how to do a court non-compliance after. It's not just sitting there and then leave, eat an apple and walk away. Okay, they know that they're the authority there, and the judges are starting to see it more and more and more. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Um, so when safely share their experiences with these quote unquote lawmakers, it humanizes the issues and the statistics alone, that they can't, like, in other words, they can't dispute any longer. It's coming out of the mouth of babes. It's coming out of the mouth of the kids themselves. They're able to tell you what they've been through and what happened. Okay, and a lot of kids are like really mature at young ages these days, or they've been through so much they've had to mature faster than they should have. And so, what better voices than the kids? So we have Kids for Congress and Make America's Children Safe Again. Another major issue, which is the one that we've already kind of talked about, but I really want to discuss is the serious blanket danger of 50-50 custody, these presumptions, because when courts fall prey to, in other words, when they fail to properly assess abuse because they're so concerned and their emphasis is so strongly on this whole 50-50 thing, um, they can't assess it. And instead, what they do is it's always flip. Don't tell me it's not. I don't care who you are. I guarantee every single last one of you would raise your hands if I asked you to. If you were punished for protecting, that's the name of my business. Were you punished for protecting your kids? And everybody's hand goes up. No matter where I'm teaching, whether it be 100 people in a seminar or thousands, everybody's hand goes up. Or if they know somebody, maybe they're an aunt or an uncle and they happen to be there, or in a church, everybody's hands go up. Okay? All right. So we have to start calling things what they are, and we need to put the emphasis on coercive control, domestic violence, substance abuse, severe mental instability. When I talk about that, I protect disabilities. Okay. But there's certain things that are like way off that are criminal disabilities. And so you have to know how, that's why people shouldn't go in going, I'm an ADA advocate. No, you're not. That's like saying you're a surgeon. No, you're not. It's because you are assisting, handing over the instruments to the surgeon. That doesn't make you the surgeon, right? So you got to be careful and to not undo the work that we've worked very, very hard at, Vicki, myself, over these years, right? So you want to make sure that you know how to do the surgery first. Can you do it? Can I protect all my families that are falsely labeled or that have PTSD or depression or whatever they have? They're perfectly fine parents. They're perfectly fine versus the person that I have to protect the children from, who's foaming from the mouth legitimately and chopping the head of chickens off and killing their neighbors because they have a criminal mental illness that's completely different. And I have to be able to not just decipher, but make sure that as a non-attorney, I can get in there and flip that switch, while the courts want to do it the other way around. They want to give the children to the abuser and keep the children from the protector. Okay. So we have to make sure that these child endangerment allegations are the most important thing. Okay. And again, that's where family justice has a perfect balance. Because if you're falsely accusing someone, you could go to criminal court and end up in jail for it. So it's going to stop people from false allegations. And I know people don't like hearing this, but it's been proven less than 6% of women that report abuse are lying. Shall I say it again? Less than 6% of women that report abuse are lying. So why, help me with this? Why are 96% of women called crazy liars? Did I say that right? It should be 94%.
It's because
Why?
people like Autumn ruin their reputation.
Because people like you got you, there. Thank you. Okay. Shared parenting can absolutely work in healthy situations. We don't dispute that. I am for that, but not in family court. We cannot trust these judges. These judges have failed us over and over and over and over and over, decade after decade. They have failed us. When you kill one child through a court order, you might as well kill them all, in my opinion. Okay? This is not something that should happen over and over and over again, over and over. Maya, over and over. Children, this should not be happening. Okay? My son did not walk away from the situation unscathed. Kids are not resilient. Okay? So stop with these nonsense words that make you feel better. This is not true. We have to work very hard when we get these kids back to give them a normal life and stabilize them. And through the thank God for faith, yes, God, kids can become completely healed, but it takes work and determination and prayer and deliverance and healing. Okay. And so we do what's called alternative to family court. Now I've got a actual building in New York, but I still do this work nationwide. I'm going to be doing a seminar June 20th. You guys are more than welcome to register so you can come to the location in New York, or you can just do it on, it'll be virtual, it'll be hybrid, both physical and virtual. And you guys can sign up for that. And um, but it's like we're doing, it's a holistic thing. Now, when it comes to alternative to family court, I work with both parents, mom and dad, and we give them a whole training program. It's amazing. It just depends. We tailor it to their needs. So it's like 5 sessions. It could be 6 sessions, and you come in agreement. Now, some people, we have just an abuser, so we can't do it. We can't do it. It just we can't. The abuser will never do it. They don't want to. They don't really want 50-50 or whatever you want to call it, because I don't believe kids should be split down the middle. They're not a 50% person. They're a 100% person. And we should be way more beyond that in this day and age, in a holistic way, to know that people are whole people, right? We're whole. I don't want to be split down the middle, 50% of me, and tell me to go here, there, here, there, and here and there. Okay, I want to be a whole person, live my life as whole as I can. If I have a broken family, even if I have a good mom and dad. So there's ways, we have ways that work. We have ways that work that some crazy, wacky, druggy judge isn't going to tell you how to live your life with your family and destroy everything you've ever worked for. Destroy your business, destroy your home. Maybe you want to own 2 homes. Maybe you want vacations and holidays, and you can't have this now because you're fighting for your kids every day, fighting for your kids, trying to save them. What a way to live. So we're putting a stop to family court. So by you joining these advocacy groups that don't want to do that, you are literally a part of the problem and not the solution. So where does it go when you want to have parents that can actually co-parent their children in a healthy, normal way that helps the family live a normal, as best as possible way, you go to Alternative to Family Court. You register. It's called Book a Talk. I think it's in chat. And you say, my family and I would like to do Alternative to Family Court. We tailor a program for you, and you walk away with your own decision, not a forced custody order. Okay, imagine God tells you, I put you on this earth, and a judge tells you you're going to live by this piece of paper. You're going to live this way because I told you. Well, I can't do that because on Monday I got to do this, and on Tuesday, oh, if I want to go on vacation, I got to do this. And blah, blah, blah. I mean, you see how nuts that is? And we allow it in this country because we're so dumbed down and deceived. We just allow everything. Yeah, it's okay, sir. Let me slap me again, hit me again. I'll take another. Let me have another. This is how we think in this society. Very sad. We fight for everything but what we should fight for in this country. It's just so crazy to me. Okay. So can shared parenting work? Of course it can in more healthy situations. However, when courts apply automatic equal parenting time without individualized safety analysis, children can and will be placed directly into dangerous circumstances. So, this one size fits all custody model does not protect children when abuse dynamics exist. And Kentucky, being the leading state, the first one to do it, is living proof of it. Living proof of it. So when these custody new bills say, oh, but with the absence of abuse, excuse me, I just got done telling you over 90% of the cases have one abuser. So when you're making that standard of 50-50 custody, you just literally did a damaging thing for these family courts and these crazy judges that shouldn't be making decisions anyway because they're not capable of making decisions, obviously. Come sit with us and court watch with us, and you'll see how capable these judges are to make proper decisions. You'll see it. You'll watch it, and you'll be like, oh my God, I wouldn't trust that judge with my worst enemy. Okay? I was going to say dog, but I love dogs too much. There's be no way in hell. Okay? So my worst enemy, I wouldn't trust that judge with. Okay? Yet they're making decisions for your families, and you're allowing it because you're going to continue to push things that are completely insane, damaging, and problematic. Okay, now again, going back to, and very important, this topic, I have multiple videos on it. Dr. Childress, Dr. Richard Gardner, that back in the 80s, who actually killed himself. We address these serious concerns surrounding the beyond misuse of the word parental alienation syndrome, parental alienation, and any combination of the word, often referred to as PAS. PAS itself is a highly controversial topic, and yet it's never, not one time, never has it passed the test to be formally recognized as a scientific diagnosis within major diagnostic standards such as the DSM-5, DSM, any of the DSM, or many domestic violence experts, trauma specialists, child advocates, legal scholars. They each raise concerns that accusations of alienation can sometimes be used to discredit legitimate, not sometimes, all the time, legitimate abuse disclosures made by children and protective parents. And let me tell you something, children say it once, maybe twice, maybe three times that they've been abused by somebody, and the courts silence them, and the courts tell them they're lying, and the courts put them right back into the hands of their abusers. We have, because 50-50 is such a problem in this country, because shared parenting is such a problem in this country, we have reunification camps now and reunification processes in all states. New York has them, everybody has them, even the states that don't have an emphatic 50-50, pushed bill that they're fighting for, trying to get these crazy people, and I will call them out, that's what they are. Okay, they're crazy. So when they're trying to do is, I'm not even joking with you. I wish I was remotely lying. Okay. I wish I was slightly lying. They literally have fathers that have, what, their own daughters and sons. Okay. That courts now will take them in and work on reunifying them back with that person. I cannot begin to tell you the overwhelming amount of clients I have coming to me with this problem. Okay. All over the entire country. So you're telling a woman that if you get ARD in adulthood, right? Would you ever in your right mind tell a woman if you've been ARD, okay? Would you tell that woman, now let's go take you through this. We have a therapy program for you. That would be fine, a therapy, but we have a therapy program for you. And what this therapist is going to do with you is they're going to reunify you back with that person that did that to you. Would anybody in their right mind ever think that was crazy? Would anybody? You'd all say that's insane. Why the hell would you do it with a biological child? Help me out. Help me out. Somebody, help me out. But because we're going to have shared parenting, we have to have shared parenting. Do you see where this is a problem? Please share this video wildly. Okay? Share it. Because you see where that is a problem. Do you see the message you're giving a little girl or a little boy? That this is okay. This is not okay. It's not okay. So what do they, when you ask them, well, why would you do this? Why would you want to reunify? Well, we have to because the parents have equal rights to their children. Oh, they only have equal rights when they're abused? Because I noticed that the ones that don't abuse their children don't have equal rights. I noticed that they don't have access to their kids. I've noticed that throughout the country too. How come they don't have equal rights? Or some of them will be like, well, Francesca, at least if we get 50-50, I'll have my kid half the time. I'll have it half, and I can, trust me, oh my God, I understand that. Boy, can I understand that half the time is better than none. But we can't say this is the gun that they're using to shoot you, so let's hold on to the gun and help them shoot. Like, no, we got to fight against it to keep the children in the protective homes and away from the abuser. It's just that simple. Because no kid should grow up in an abusive home. No kid. You're just creating more dangerous kids into adults. And then you're generating more of a family court business down the road. Why would you do that? Okay. Now let's talk about domestic violence itself and how it affects all demographics. And this is some of the things that they don't tell you that I've noticed, that I've done some deep research through the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention and multiple national studies. So men can be victims of violence from women, clearly, okay? Some of them may not be physically assaulted by a woman, or she may hit him with a frying pan over the head type of thing. But mostly women don't have the physiological um, strength and so on and so forth to like beat up a man. It's not the same. But there's some. You might have some. You might have one that's she might be a bodybuilder and you may be 85 pounds soaking wet, and she could beat you. She could drag you down the street. Hey, I'm not saying it doesn't happen because it does. But one of the things that we've noticed is that when you look at the statistics, okay, it's men on women, heterosexual men on men, and homosexual men on men, physically speaking. And it's the highest rankings depending on one of those three demographics. Okay, so that is a big issue that we need to be concerned about. So, do I believe in domestic violence against women? Yes. Yes, 100%. Do I believe in domestic violence against men? Yes, 100%. Do I believe in that there's domestic violence in the heterosexual, heterosexual men that just like, they got their hormones and they got their testosterone and they're just beating the crap out of each other because they're mad about something? Of course. And then do I believe it in the homosexual community? It's extremely large. Abuse is very, very high. That's something you can look up. It's very, very emotionally charged and very high physical abuse. So we have to know this. This is stuff that the courts should be very aware of and privy to when making determinations. Okay. According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, and the studies that I've looked into, millions of Americans experience intimate partner violence during their lifetime, and the severity rates involving serious injury that comes with it. It could be homicide. Homicide. I hear a lot about strangulation. Courts ignore it. Strangulation is a very scary thing, and it happens a lot. I've had a lot of clients who've been strangled, and the courts do nothing about it. Or they kill the animals. They kill the dogs. They kill the cats. I've seen this repeatedly. Okay, they hurt animals. Coercive control. It disproportionately impacts women. Statistically, this has been proven over and over again. And while there are male victims that underreport a lot of times because they're embarrassed, so they won't report abuse, or they may not even know that they're being abused. Okay, because a lot of us put up with abuse in different levels that we don't even realize we're being abused. Sometimes it takes us years before we realize, wow, I was abused. I didn't even realize I was abused. I was abused. Okay, so I believe that every victim deserves protection regardless of your gender. I believe. Okay, um, so our movement is reaching national levels, as you guys know. Um, And as you also know, I think most of you that are part of what we're doing know very clearly, and a lot of you have been to DC. I am currently in, I've been in very serious communications and networking with the highest ranking officials, national advocates, policy leaders, legal professionals, media figures as well. Um, um, and again, we're mostly enforcing constitutional rights, disability rights, child safety, judicial accountability, and human rights protections. That is our goal. That is our fight. We've been organizing right now. We have on the 29th, we have a huge, it's actually a fashion show, but it's a gala. It's at City Terrace in DC. I'm going to send it out for all of you. I will do things. Obviously, this is going to be more through private group chats. I'm going to have my groups, my team leads. They're just going to be vetting you guys as you come through the doors, to get you in. There's going to be several codes. Some of them is going to be Let's Heal America Now through my sisters. Some is going to be MAXA, Make America's Children Safe Again, through me. This is going to bring worldwide attention. Just so you know, they keep telling us we're about to go into like fifth gear. Okay, this is going to bring massive attention on the 29th. The fact that we have literally royalty that is a part of what we're doing, I'm blown away, and extremely close ties to Trump for the 29th. On the 30th and 31st, I will be at a private soiree with Trump and JD Vance and a bunch of people, which is a round table. So I'll be able to get some very serious discussions in that need to be done. And right now, currently, I'm in the middle of just waiting. I'm literally on the edge of my seat, waiting for my appointment to do a serious policy briefing, finally, with RFK Jr. And I say finally because I feel like I've been waiting, but I know that's only been a couple months. I mean, with all honesty, we were in DC in October. We're not even a full year of this. It's like, what is it? October, November, December, January, February, March, April, barely 8 months, and we were during a government shutdown. We have accomplished more than I think I've ever seen in the family rights movement in such a short period of time with so many setbacks. Okay, a government shutdown twice. Okay, I mean, it's pretty amazing. So I'm beyond thankful. Please don't think I'm not. It's just that, when you're on the edge of your seat just waiting, they've already got the briefing, they've already got the binder, they've already agreed with it, they already like it. Trump's already got the executive order, but I didn't know the red tape that was involved. Holy moly. And the fortitude you have to have in the fight, and the costs. Oh my God, the cost. So, there's that. And it is difficult when you don't have the help that I could use, honestly. But I'm not out there like those other advocates asking for you to pay for my hotel, like all this other garbage. And I see, but meanwhile, they begrudge other people for making a financial living. It cracks me up. So this is going to be a huge thing, and people are like, "Oh, why a fashion show? Why not a fashion show? Whatever it takes." I mean, I'm just like, whatever doors God wants to open up, I'm there, because you can't just sit in these rooms with these people. You don't. I don't even know if you guys realize, because this is all new to me. There are hundreds of millions of trillions of dollars being filtered through the entire government constantly, constantly. They're back there printing it somewhere. Okay, I've never seen anything quite like it. So you can't be in these rooms dressed in a Walmart skirt, unfortunately. Okay, you going in your own closet pulling out clothes. It doesn't work that way. You got to be where God puts you, and it may not be your choice to do it a certain way, but you got to be where He puts you, in order to talk to these people or what have you. What's going on? And a lot of it, obviously some of it is fun, and I'd love to see all of you reap some of the benefits of it, because you've been through hell. And I love to see God treat you like the royalty you are. I love to see that. Okay. And some people out there may not understand that, but until they walked a mile in your shoes and seen the suffering you went through, when God wants to put you in a beautiful gala, in a beautiful dress, in a beautiful suit and tie, I want to see you guys. You deserve that. You've been through hell, and I wish I could afford to do it for everybody personally. Okay, so I personally have no problem with that. Okay, this isn't about glitz and glam, and that's not what we didn't. Our goal wasn't to do that. God just kind of added this to the recipe, which is kind of neat. So for all of you to be able to come and put on a pretty dress and put on a suit and tie and be treated the way you should be treated, okay, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Okay. Now, at this event on the 29th is a little different than the other. I'm setting you guys loose in there. You guys are going to be able to network like you've never networked before. You guys are going to be able to push. I'm going to get you guys very prepared for what we're about to do. We're going to take that night, and we're going to use every minute of it. We're getting VIP rooms. I mean, you can't even imagine what God is doing for us. Okay. So we're going to utilize every second of it, every minute of it. Okay, that those of you that can come, and so on and so forth. Sorry for the dog barking in the background. Stop, stop. Sorry. Okay, I just want to leave anything out, make sure. Um, and again, I just want to just kind of emphasize our movement is definitely not about hatred against any like um, other advocacy groups or anything like that because we work with a lot of great advocates. They're here in our meetings. They're part of what we're doing. I've already built rapport with them over the years, and I've known uh, great things, about them. And I want to work with specific people, but it's the ones that I refuse to work with. Please take notice. It's for mine and your safety and all our hard work and your children and your children's children, like I said before. Okay, because I am very strong on accountability, transparency, our constitutional protections. Most of all, you guys know this. I think you know this. Child safety, um, and I don't want to see any family. I don't care who you are. Um, I want to make sure that you're insured, that you're not denied basic human rights. Under the color of law. So I want to thank you guys for your time for being here tonight, listening to all of this. We will be doing more and more of this. We do this every Wednesday, like I said. And thank you for your courage and your willingness to stand for the children in America. I appreciate you all for that and for being here every Wednesday, and especially my teams that are here, my awesome teams. I know that we're actually getting our pages better and more equipped. Those of you that are team leads, so thank you guys that you've taken the reins and you're really working your pages because I look at them all the time. By the way, I see who's doing what. So I really appreciate those of you that I see are really working very hard. I see you guys I see you guys like Megan she's in her own case and so on and so forth, but you've been doing really great directing. She does the FJAA court compliance team, and she makes sure that people can hop in and be a part of, helping families. And we do it for both my clients and non-clients. It's a free courtesy service that we offer to come court watch your cases virtually, of course. So just know that. And it's not just for my clients, it's for non-clients too. There's times I can't hop on because I'm with a client in a trial or a hearing or somewhere doing something else. But and Megan's got the whole group in there. I've seen 20 up to 40 people sometimes just court watching, and it really freaks these courts out. We get a lot of, Megan can tell you, the groups can tell you, they get a lot of good reports back. We do get some bumps and bruises along the way sometimes because you got idiots, you got these jerks that are running there that are quote unquote judges. But most of these cases have turned around, and we're going to see more and more of that happening. So I'm going to open up the floor for Q&A. The problem is that I'm going to have to hop out of Zoom and hop back in because I can't. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I can see you guys now. It had me blocked. But anyway, I'm going to open up the floor for Q&A right now. And if anybody here is new, I'm sorry if I didn't acknowledge you. We try to always acknowledge everybody as you're coming in. I would always tell people to kind of go to one of the leaders, one of the team leads. They'll be happy to assist you if you want to be a team lead or a volunteer for what we're doing. Definitely want everybody emphasizing to come June 29th. I'll have more information on that so you can start booking your flights and airplanes and, I mean, I'm sorry, your flights and your, traveling and your hotels or Airbnbs. And also on May 17th, I still have free tickets if anybody wants. I can give you individually 5. I think it's still up to 5 right now. I don't know if they've filled. I don't think they did. For the lawn or rather not the lawn, but for the National Mall. And President Trump will be speaking at noon on May 17th. So it's really cool because it's now from 1776 to 2026, rededicating this country back to God, which I think is what we desperately need. And we're going to see an atmosphere shift in our country when that happens. So if anybody wants that, I'm going to go ahead and have you message me on Facebook because I can't just give them out. I can't just put it here. But if you message me on Facebook, then myself or Clarice will send you where you can fill out and register to get your 5 free tickets to go to this event on May 17th. I know it's coming up real soon. And I'll be there, and I hope to have some extra Maxca clothing. I went to the manufacturer today, but if I don't, I apologize. All right, so why don't we go ahead and open up the floor for Q&A. And again, very important, emphasize, no talking about your case. We cannot have that in here, okay? I think I'm going to keep it recording right now. but I do sometimes end recording if a topic comes up that we don't want, kind of like out there. So let's start with Maureen, Pennsylvania. Go ahead and you're the first one with your hand up, I see.
Hey Francesca, I just want to let you know I finally got in and took care of that from today, but
Oh, good. Oh, thank God. Okay.
my son finally figured it out. But I have one question.
Leave it to a kid.
No comment on that. I just wanted to find out, do you need a letter from my doctor that would say what I exactly have because of all the nonsense?
Yeah, send it to me in Messenger. Yes, I do. I definitely need it.
Okay, how do I do I send it to
Did he already draft it?
He's working on it, so I just need to know, do I need
could-
to send it to your which address do I use?
You're gonna just send it to me on Facebook Messenger. If you go to Facebook Messenger, there's an option there. It'll say on the bottom of Facebook Messenger, I think it's to the left. If you press a little, I want to say it's like 3 dots. You should be able to click where it says attach file. And
Okay.
if it doesn't work there, let me know, and then I'll tell Clarice to keep on looking for it on my email.
Yeah, I have to pick it up in a few days. I just wanted to know what address I was supposed to put on it. Am I putting your coalition information on, or am I putting, because they need the info?
Oh, wait, are you saying, well, the letter is just a general letter though, right? It's not to me.
It's a general letter, but
So you can
it's
upload it. Okay, you could either send it to my email or you could upload it on Messenger, either way.
Okay, but it's okay to put your name, your information on it?
On the letter?
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
Oh, sure.
And then also the court, yes?
Yeah, I'm not sure why you'd want to put my information on it, but unless he's saying I'm advocating for you, so on and so forth. And
I
yeah.
have to have somebody to sign. I have to have it signed to do this. So they have to know where it's going.
I'm so confused right now. I don't know really.
I guess that's how they do it. They have to know where it's going so they can do it. So that's what the issue is. So I'll just say,
okay, here's what I need you to do. Just send it. Can you send an email to both me and to the doctor, and then have the doctor explain to me in an email what exactly he needs, and I'll make sure I fulfill that.
Okay, I will do.
I can tell you what it is. It's just a release of information to the person because
then that's not to me.
That's what I'm looking for. Yes.
Yeah, then that wouldn't be to me. That's an agreement they have to make with you. I can't make that agreement.
But we have to know who it's going to. That's what.
Right. So you would say Francesca Amato, and then you would say punished for protecting Inc. or something like that.
Okay, so we'll go that way.
I'm sorry. I totally didn't understand what you meant. Sorry. I'm on a roll tonight.
Thank you, Francesca.
You're welcome, honey. Thank you. Okay, let's see who's next. Oh, Megan Marshall. Megan.
I don't speak often, but I just wanted to say thank you for the shout out on the court compliance. I just want to give a shout out to Chelsea as well. She's just dynamite behind the scenes, and she's on a lot of the court watch hearings as well. And I got to actually witness for the first time personally having everybody there for me. Just watching, and Vicky was amazing. I love talking with Vicky.
Vicky is amazing.
Yeah. So anybody that is on here that's new or doesn't know about our court watch compliance team, I mean, if you want to know what it's like to have that amount of support behind your back, without actually being in the room, it creates a completely different atmosphere, and the judges are starting to respond accordingly. And not all of them are great, but a lot of them are becoming more and more welcoming as they see our names go across different, counties, so different states, I mean, nationwide. So I'm just excited. I'm so excited about it. So anybody that's listening, it's an amazing thing. And if anybody Gail, she got to witness our support. Everybody that I don't think I'm thinking of Sarah Nesbitt. She got to see what it was like to have us on there. A bunch of us as team members have gotten to see what it's like to truly rally the troops and to be there in support of people. So if you haven't gotten a chance to witness what our court watch compliance can do through the FJAA, you just wait. It's going to be big. So
yeah, I'm thinking I'm starting a second messenger with just FJAA court compliance, so that anybody can just get in and be a part of it. Well, I think we should start that.
I
Maybe
think
you
that's a
and
good idea.
I think you and I should admin it so that we can kind of vet people and let them in and then they can be a part of it.
Yeah, that's good because it's a good location to go to.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I had.
Well, thank you. And then I knew somebody, okay, Chelsea, I can see that you're next, but I knew that somebody, was it Erica? Somebody had something I was told today, and I lost my train of thought right now. But somebody had something and I wanted to have them speak tonight. Does anybody recall who, was it Chelsea or Erica?
Actually, it
Chelsea and
is
Erica,
Erica. Yep.
It is
And
Erica.
It was me.
yep.
And Erica,
So I went up to Glasgow today. It's a 4-hour drive one way. It was a judicial education committee meeting,
yeah,
and it's the first time they've opened it to the public. Chelsea told me about it. She wasn't able to come, so I went and I actually recorded it for her with the AI transcription, whatever it is.
yes.
There was I'm not familiar with the judges in Montana, but there was 3 gentlemen there that were kind
Okay.
of running the meeting.
Okay.
And then there was Kyla, which is a paralegal, and Madison, which is the one that Chelsea got me touch base with. Kyla, she was there for presentation. She was bringing forth that judges have to be educated on this, and she brought paperwork for all in the sea of like numbers for like murders that have happened and children, and they kept all that information. And as she was reading off her presentation, there was a couple of cases. I can't quite remember the dates that she brought up, but they were like 21 and 25 or something. And she was referring to DV cases, and in the middle of when she was talking, it was Judge Kidsley. She's like, "Well, I need to stop you there." She totally kind of interrupted her, and it turns out she was the reciting judge over those cases.
Huh.
She shut her down, would not let her finish, and then she goes, "I need to back out of here for a minute. I got to go deal with a murder case." And she popped off, and then she come back in, and uh, that's when she had brought up the counter side of it of like people possessing child pornography. Like they're trying to say, okay, well, because this child wasn't actually touched, there's nothing wrong with this because it's not. And that's when they brought up to the federal level of things. And they have Kyla, I guess like her lawyer, whoever that she's affiliated with, they've created these modules that are like a total of like 16 hours that they
Yeah.
can break it down and use that as the education for the judiciary. And they're going to be getting them that information. And at that point, they were going on like the IT stuff. So he's like, "If you guys want to sit around, listen." So we just kind of left. So I didn't really have much time to talk in there. But I followed them down the hall and I got their attention, and I was like, are you the woman that I was connected with? And she's like, "I'm not sure." It's like, "I'm Erica Block. I'm the team lead for FJAA." And we stood there probably a good 10 minutes or so having conversation. I shared my story, and she knows all of the court actors that are in my case. She is aware that my ex-husband's attorney, without being voted in by the public, was given recommendations from the other judges to appoint her as being judge.
Wow.
So I told her that I just discovered that, so I need to go about filing an order to change venue. And she asked about lawyer, and I said I don't have one because I was screwed by mine. Now she's filing a lawsuit against me, and the lawyer that I want here in town that was referred to me, I can't afford him either. And it turns out she knows him, but he doesn't take any out of district cases anymore. So I said, I have no money, but I need help. I'm going in this pro se.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You know what? Get a hold of Madison, give her all of your contact information, Stay in touch with us. We're going to see what we can do for you.
Okay, okay.
It was a very good chit chat with them, because it's like, I'm completely new to this, but before this year, I didn't know this was even a thing. Like,
Yep.
the courts are here to protect you until
Yeah.
you're handed a piece of paper and you're told you're not allowed to bring your child home.
You're right.
And it's like, and considering the entire government is involved in the child, and she just stops and she looks at me and goes, "Don't even get me started on that."
Wow. She said that.
Like, yeah, like she
She knew.
knows. She's very knowledgeable. I will be getting in touch with them to make connection and see what they can do to help me now that I have to change venue, and I guess I can't do that without a lawyer. So
Oh, that's
yay.
But first and foremost, everybody, I want you all also to applaud Erica, because first and foremost, thank you for doing such a sacrifice today and traveling that far and doing all of this. This is just amazing, and I really appreciate you for doing this today. And yeah, and a lot of shout outs to a lot of these different team leads. You guys are amazing. Some of the work that you're doing. I can't thank you guys enough. And this is what team support means. And also like literally spearheading and leading and finding a direction and taking it and going ahead and doing it. I'm very proud of you. And it really helps. And this is what it's all about. So, the same thing with Chelsea, the same thing with Dale, Holly constantly making the videos and so on and so forth and doing a lot of different things. Wes is just constantly trying to assist people, help people, draw attention. Just so many of you. I don't want to leave anybody's names out. Believe me, I'm not trying to. Vicky is like amazing. Gail's been pushing it. I mean, since she started. I don't want to leave anybody out. Believe me, but I do notice people really strongly like and very determined and literally moving forward, and helping, bring attention to the cause and actually doing something that you could put your teeth in. You know what I'm saying? That's just an action that's actually helping us. So I really appreciate you guys, and it really helps a lot. Those of you that are keeping and maintaining the state pages, I don't know if you think that that's a nothing job. That is really important because people don't know what to do. So it helps direct them, to the right direction. And to the Wednesday night meetings, because it helps. Because here's where I tell everybody, come here because this is where I can answer your questions for the most part. So. But Erica, thank you so much. Really, that's amazing that you did that today. Just the driving alone. Believe me, I feel you on that one.
It was a long couple of days, because in the last 48 hours, I've spent 24 of those on the road. I had a long day yesterday with funerals and kid stuff, and then there was today, and I got to go back to Big Timber in the morning tomorrow, and
Oh wow.
helping
Well,
one family at a time.
Well, yes. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Chelsea, you have a question or something else? What else is up your sleeve, girl?
I just wanted to tag on. I was gonna bring up Erica, but you got her. And I want to throw in the chat. If you are looking for court compliance, we have a form that you can fill out to get on
Oh,
our
yeah.
schedule. And this is something new that we're doing, so we can keep track of everybody that's coming in, have it on a calendar. So Megan can stay on top of it and in a really user-friendly fashion. So the easier that we can make her job by filling out this form, it also will make the court compliance team who is going in and watching those job easier, because when we go out and fill out those forms, we're looking for specific information that we can fill out the affidavits, like Francesca said, but we're also tracking data. We want to know where these judges are, who's represented, who's not represented, and the court compliance watchers need the information, like what state you are, what judge it is, who the court actors are, gals or attorneys. So if you have any need for Court Watch, please check out this link and put your request in there. And we're going to work on getting that populated into a calendar. So then the Court Watch compliance team will have that in a calendar. We know what's coming up, and we know we have all the information in there. So that's my last little bit.
Yeah, I told you she's dynamite. Freaking love it. Good job, Chelsea.
Can I just say one thing? That's called good communication. That's called getting a plan. That's called breaking it down so everyone can understand. Megan and Chelsea, thank you. Sometimes I hear people going back and forth and there's never any consistency. All right, so that's one of my pet peeves is people that throw something out there and then does it. But that, wow, it's amazing to see the two of you working together like that. Anyway, I just had to say that. Thank you.
This is such a
Okay.
team build up meeting. I think this is really beautiful. And for anybody who's new here or just joining in, like this is our team, and you can see how we are building each other up. Francesca talked about that in the beginning, and we're really here with the heart for children. And I can't think of any more noble cause. I'm honored to be here.
Very well said. Very well said, Chelsea. Anybody that's new, we give Wes a hard time.
Yes, we do. That's part of our job. It's part of the job description. It's give Wes a hard time. That's list number one, and then we just go from there.
I'm FJAA punching bag.
Oh, geez. But in reality, we love you, Wes, and we're very grateful to have you. So,
Well, Wes is sheepdog. That's who
Sheepdog?
he is. He's a sheepdog that he hangs out in the pasture with all of us sheep, right? He's always looking out and covering, dotting I's, crossing T's, and he's a big glue.
Yeah.
And he does do a good job of keeping the wolves away. So
Yes, he does.
we'll give credit where credit's due.
Mhm.
You guys, I'm having a very rough week. Thank you. I appreciate hearing that. So thank you so much for saying that. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry, Wes, that you are.
It's okay.
Well, we're all here if you ever need to just call a group of us in.
And yeah. So yeah, we got a few more people talking here. Let's see. Eddie wants to talk too. So
Hey, Eddie. Maybe he needs help unmuting. Eddie?
well, I guess we can move to Alexandra in case he's away from right
Okay.
now.
I know it's 5 a.m. where he is. Okay, well, so we can always come back to him. So, Alexandria?
Hello, my dear. How can I be heard? Okay, can you hear me well?
Yeah, you're nice and clear.
Thank you, my dear. I'm not gonna take a lot of time. Just a couple of updates. We have permanent placement, horrible hearing in 2 days. So I would just appreciate some prayers, my dear friends. You know what happened. So they just adopting my daughter out for transgender mutilation and sterilization. They completely medically stripped our rights, although we retained them. So I posted on Facebook and my Substack. I'm afraid to throw it in here because chat was a little bit disabled. It's Ukrainian mother's fight for her daughter, and it's my bleeding diary of my fight. Francesca, my attorney that we spoke about, she launched a retaliation campaign against me. The entire California is quote unquote covered. I'm still fighting, my friends.
So, Alexandra, do you have a virtual link you can send us so we can watch the case?
My dear, it's dependency court. Can you imagine that Judge Bigelow from Shasta County, California, denied us virtual presence on January 27th, saying, oh, these parents are breaking confidentiality. So basically, we have no lawyers. We're self-representing ourselves. And she says, no virtual presence. So she is going to be deciding the fate of my abused, raped, neglected, sexualized, medicalized, suborn perjury daughter in 2 days, and we are muzzled. That's what's going to happen in Shasta County, California. Kangaroo court.
Well, you're supposed to, by law, have remote appearance. I mean, you're not my client. Otherwise, I would be able to draft something that we would have gotten you what you needed.
I know, my dear.
When is court?
Yeah.
When is court? When is it?
I think I'm in Florida. I'm hiding in Florida, so I'm on ST. The court probably supposed to be 8:30. We haven't been sent any links. It's just that we gave up on that. Like I told you, we filed, pro se in December. We are looking for a civil rights attorney, which is fine. So, it's the limbo. It's absolutely just about publicity, and that's what I'm doing. But they just medicalizing. They did not even grant us the phone presence for medication management. They wanted to feed her more drugs to again suborn perjury, and I already disclosed it. So they just slap our faces with, like dirty rocks, saying,
But
"Hey,
do
nobody."
you know the court date? I just need the court date. Do you know the court date?
15th, Francesca, 15th.
Oh my gosh, in literally in 2 days?
Permanent placement hearing in 2 days. Bigelow denied us can you please, whoever is interested, I'm not forcing anybody. I just threw my Substack in the chat, and one of the chapters called Subhumans, I did my daughter's name, that 827, so there is no case number, there is no name of my daughter, but I shared the entire hearing transcript that happened January 27th this year, where she clearly shuts my husband up, who was self-representing us, and saying the parents are denied virtual presence. Like, I'm going to decide your fate without yourselves. So that's what's been doing in Shasta
Well,
County.
only
For
thing I
these,
can recommend is, I mean, this is so last minute, and we're not allowed to talk about our cases in Zoom.
yeah.
But this is so last minute. I'm going to tell you, I would fill out Book a Talk if I were you, and I can tell Clarice to try to move things. I'll have to work through the night, but I mean, I could help you, but I mean, you're giving this to me seconds before you go into court. So you should go to Book a Talk and just fill out the form, and I'll tell Clarice to see what she can do to get me on your case, because I mean, I wouldn't be hiring a lawyer. I'd be hiring me to be honest with you, and I wouldn't be doing it last minute right now. Like, honestly, I'm not trying to be,
No,
but
it's fine, Francesca. I don't believe in it. The kangaroo court already shown what we are worth and what they can do. We already, gave up on this, because this is just
but if I was a
crutches.
part of this, I could at least be fighting for you to get virtual court. And once you got virtual court, we could bring our whole team into court watch. You would have had a whole court lined with people. At the very least, you would have at least witnesses to what they're doing, and then you would be having me there to list every single violation. And it definitely would be something worth it for you. But unfortunately, I can't have this
She does whatever she wants, my dear, but I do appreciate its dependency. Kangaroo court in California, it's just
doesn't
like, it's
matter.
hopeless.
It doesn't matter where it is. I do court watching in California, Florida, Wyoming. It doesn't
I
matter
know you
where.
do.
But all right, I hate to hear this. It's terrible. But if you do fill it out, we can start to jump in your case at least.
Oh, Francesca, thank you so much, my dear. God bless you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you. Thank you.
I
Yeah.
God bless
I
you.
just sent you the Book a Talk with Francesca on Messenger for you. Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Wes.
friend. Thank you.
That's-
Thank you, Wes.
You're welcome.
Love
Does
you
anybody-
guys.
love
Thank
you.
you.
Does anybody else have questions? I don't see any other hands tonight. Anybody else have anything that they've done this week for FJAA or?
Erica just tested out the link and it says that we're no longer accepting responses, so I don't know if we need a new link for the court request document.
Can you, is it in chat? Can I try to do it?
Yeah, yep. Thank you, Erica. Again. Yeah,
Wait, where do I go? Is it right there where it says
and
here
just
it is.
scroll
Okay.
up a little bit higher
All
and you'll
right.
see the link.
Let me click it and see what happens when I do it. It says
Okay.
FJAA Court Watch Compliance Team Form. The FJAA Court Watch Compliance Team Request Form is no longer accepting responses. Okay, hang on. It should be me. Hang on.
Sounds good. Good catch, Erica. Thank you, Carolyn.
Yeah, thank you.
This also.
I'm just gonna
I
put
got
the.
you.
Let me see if I get it. Hang on. Let me see what happens.
For me, it says name, email address, and then submit. But
Really, and for me, it went to, it says we're not accepting, but we are definitely. I got the same thing you got. Is there, okay, we need to do this again. I don't even know how that was done in the first place, so I don't know.
Former Holly made it, but Chelsea know how to do that kind of stuff, and I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah, could you just reset it and then put my email on it, I guess, or no, I guess it needs to go directly to Megan. Megan
Yeah, so
Zillman.
sorry, I stepped away, so I missed what was going on. I had to go
Okay,
to.
so apparently there's something wrong with the link. So Erica's gonna, was it Erica or Chelsea that's gonna fix?
Chelsea. Chelsea's a master
Chelsea's
at
gonna,
that.
okay, Chelsea's gonna fix it and then send it to you for new people. Okay,
I should be able to get that done by tomorrow.
sounds good. Okay, and any other questions, anybody?
Mary Beard.
Hi, Mary.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
My dog is going completely insane.
So my question is, it, so the things that you bring up, these things have been implemented for, for quite a long time.
What has been implemented?
Like the things that you're fighting against,
Right.
that you're trying to bring awareness, like it felt like you were reading my mail in the spirit, to be completely honest. So I was like, okay. So, which is a confirmation that I'm with the right group and I'm where I need to be and working with it. The biggest question is these government officials have been doing this for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And I understand that the court watch compliance, you guys are pressing in. Mm-hmm. And I look forward to doing that and working alongside with you guys.
Mary, are you in our group chat? The one that we have now?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I'm going to add you right now because I already know you. So I'm going to add you right now so you could be a part of that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay, I'm adding you right now.
So my biggest question is, I believe that Donald Trump and RFJK really truly wants to make America great again. So how like how do we get like all of them to like ensure that they are backing him up? Because not everyone, because we got Democrats and we got Republicans. Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying, like, how do we fight against these spiritual battles that have been implemented and these principalities? I mean, I know rededicating America is going to change and shift the atmosphere, and everyone, like, a lot of things is like really turning over to God right now with the music and people and doing all of this stuff, and it's looking really positive. So when you're with Donald Trump and you're having these meetings with RFJK,
yeah.
Sorry.
RFJK.
Girl, I'm tired.
It's okay. It's okay. You should hear what comes out of my mouth.
So what how serious do you feel like this is going to be implemented by these two great leaders in America, and that they're really going to force this? Not doubting it, because I feel hopeful about it, and I don't doubt it one bit, but like the rest of like the government aspect, like the police officers, the caseworkers, the judges, and all of that. Like, I know that you guys are already putting your face in there and everything, but what if there's people that still buck the system? And I know that
there clearly is. There is a lot of buckers. There's a lot.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but like that. But first of all, I just want to make it perfectly clear. RFK Jr. I've spoken to, like so on and so forth. I'm waiting on a briefing. I have not yet personally talked to Trump, although I've been in the same vicinity with him. I have not yet been able to talk to him. We're still waiting on that. But right now I'm waiting on a policy briefing I'm waiting for an actual appointment policy briefing with RFK. He's already got like everything. He's had it. He agrees with it. And the people that I have had inside talks with and long conversations with, um, they're they're seemingly very much on our side, and very much fighting. But there is a fight within the fight, so to speak. There's a fight within these people. So when you said, you know, on a spiritual level, I can only emphasize kind of what I said tonight when I was talking. Yes, the rededication, 100%. Us genuinely, I believe in a remnant. So us, even if it's one or two or three or 10 or 20 of us that are praying for repentance, repenting on behalf of, standing in the gap of those that don't understand what we're even talking about right now. I believe that that's all part of what moves it. I believe that we've definitely, from what I've seen over the years, we definitely seen a shift. I definitely see a change. I definitely see major open doors. I mean, obviously, look at the rooms we get to be in and the constant invitations now. I'm invited so much I can't even go because I don't have the finances to do what I would like to be doing. I wish I had the finances to do what I think that if I had the finances to do what I could be doing with these open doors, this would have moved a lot faster, even. But even just with what I have, barely have, or don't even have, we're getting a lot accomplished. So, you know, but to answer that question, I would just say continue to just stand the gap and pray and repent on behalf of those that don't even understand what we're talking about, to be honest. Because there's people that have no clue. They really have no clue why we're in this mess. You know,
Honestly,
yeah,
like they really don't, because like what they're literally doing spiritual warfare on these families and these children. Me, I'm a part of the Supernatural Global International Ministry, and this is what we teach about. Like we learn about spiritual demonized people, and all abuse and all sexual abuse it's all demonic.
yeah,
And so it's, I mean, it's just, and it's very, it sits very dear to my heart.
yeah,
Uh, child with the childhood that I grew up in, and so I completely know both sides of it, and from a very deep perspective. And I just know that me going to this meeting on the 17th has, it spoke to me before I even got a part of this group. Like I was like, I have to be there, because I've always, like I know that God is using me through my case to stand in the gap for the future mothers and families.
yeah, yeah,
And that was something that God had told me when all of this happened. And I'm in complete agreement with you of standing in the gap. Like when we go, we're representing the women and fathers of the nation. It's not it's
yeah.
not just ourselves, and that's quite beautiful. So thank you for that
You're
insight.
welcome.
and
You're welcome. Keep praying
and
and
thank
tell your group to pray too. Keep coming, I'll make sure the more the better. That's fine. you know.
Of course, I talk about it on the chats, the groups that I'm a part of. I've offered to help other mothers that I'm around. One of the moms, she already got her children back, so she didn't need
Good,
to hire you. And
good,
so
good. I
God,
love that. I love that.
yeah, God intervened.
Hmm.
But he used me to pray with her, so it was quite beautiful. And I'm receiving that reunification, which means it's just a confirmation that my children will be returned to me. So all glory to God on that one.
Awesome.
Just the way that he shows you and prepares you for what's to come is just absolutely amazing. So just know that what you ladies and what everyone is doing, like it really makes a difference, honestly, for real. It really does, y'all. So
Thank you. Thanks so much.
you're welcome.
Okay, next in line is looks like Dale or Wes. Dale? Dale. Go ahead, Dale, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, sorry. I was just trying to get the mute button. Um, yeah, what I was saying, like somebody was talking about what can be done. Like I was on Tina Peters' podcast that's being done, Truth Matters, and so I was able to talk a little bit about the petitions and what was going on and explain it in depth. And if Alexandra was here, still here, I talked a little bit about her case and Chelsea's, because I was going through talking about the different people that were there and what needs to be done and what people can do with this. Because yes, we need prayers, but we also need people like Nehemiah to plan and pray. And
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
this is going to, by going
Yes.
out and doing this, we're going to be able to help to push this for the families, people taking in with the FJA. Then we're going to have people like, for example, in Colorado, because I put Tina Peters' information, because we put a petition into Colorado and they did nothing before she went to prison. And, you know, and then another mother in California got put in jail for nonsense. You're seeing this happening across the board. And so we want to make sure that everybody's held accountable, so that the people that are in Congress that want to do what's right will have the support of the people and put pressure on the ones that are doing wrong. Because like there was a guy that was talking on the whistleblower today
Mm-hmm.
that said that they went in and the CIA took stuff from Tulsi Gabbard when they were trying to declassify it to put it out to the people. So you're seeing within the government, there are people on opposite sides of the argument. So we want to support the people that want to do right and pressure the ones to do wrong, to know that if you keep doing that, you're going to get consequences. And so I think that as we demonstrate our, you know, our faith by our works, God will honor that as well.
I
So
agree. I agree with that that's really awesome. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Well, wholeheartedly. Thank you so much for that, Dale. Those were the most ripe words.
you're welcome. I guess God gave me what to say, right?
Yes. And we have to thank, seriously, like, I thank God for you and for Chelsea, what you guys are doing. And, you know, Dale, I'm going to have him probably instruct again soon, because what we're doing right now is we're just waiting on the official, right now we're waiting on an official congressional stamp, so to speak, for, what state was it again, Chelsea? I'm so sorry. Forgive my brain sometimes.
Montana.
Yeah, for Montana. And then what Dale's going to do is help you guys, so we can do one in each state. So and actually they can get started, right, Dale? They can still get started in the meantime.
Yeah, they can get started, because whoever gets, you know, I mean, a receipt first, it doesn't matter. It's like whoever gets to the finish line first,
But
it helps
we can get
everybody.
more than one state anyway. It doesn't matter. The more states, the better, or no?
Well, yeah, we want to hit every state. If we can hit
Yeah.
every congressional office, we'll do that. Like, I'll work with as many people to get this done, because the government needs to be put in check for the ones that are doing wrong, for sure.
So yeah, so possibly, if anybody that's from Montana or knows anybody from Montana wants to get with Chelsea, go ahead and do that, because it may help to have more constituents. And then Dale, why don't you kind of give like a brief what they can do and how they can reach out to you, so you can help them and guide them.
Yeah, like
Matter of fact, I'm going to shut off and record. Let me shut off record. Hang on.
okay.